Hello, dear families. Hope you all doing well. Always a pleasure to be with you to talk about Vodun Spirituality. Yes, our main target is to make sure our families in the diaspora knows the truth, have easy access to the culture, and know how to reconnect to the root with no problem. So, dear families, this is our third series of Understanding Vodun Spirituality. Last time we talked about the responsibilities that come after initiation to Fa. Of course, after your initiation to Fa, there are some responsibilities that you take. And number one is that you go back home with some kernels that need to be fed every year. It is important to feed them, otherwise you will be abandoned. And this is worse than when you didn't take any initiation. So, that is the first responsibility. You go back with kernels, and those kernels are what we call your Fa, and they need to be fed. The energy of those kernels need to be renewed every year. And this requires the expertise of a Bokono. A Bokono means a Fa priest. So, you cannot feed them yourself because the Bokono needs some leaves that are sacred and connected to the sign that you have. They are chanting, some works that only the Bokono is trained to do that. And apart from that, you go back home with Legba, the shrine of Boko Legba, which needs to be fed every week. And you can be asking yourself, okay, what if I'm traveling and I'm not coming back before 1 month or 2 months? What do I do with my Legba shrine, which needs to be fed every week? No problem at all. You can travel. Legba has no problem with that. The only thing you have to know is when you have a shrine like that needs oil every week, and now you're traveling, then you have a bottle containing the oil, and you remove the cap. You don't close the bottle, and then you put it on the shrine there, and you tell Legba that I'm traveling, I will not be coming back for a while, so be protecting me. This is your oil. Serve yourself till I come back. Legba will serve himself and will be protecting you till you come back. Even if you have other divinities, it's the same thing you do. And also, even if you were around, it doesn't mean that every week I have to feed my Legba. If I miss it once, Legba will kill me. Not at all. You can even have the shrine in your house, in your room, and skip weeks and feed it. No problem. You understand? So you just do it the way. It's not a jail, Good. Now, those are the two main responsibilities. But the most important thing before you really benefit from your Fa initiation is to observe the lifestyle that is prescribed. Because don't forget, Fa initiation, initiation to Fa is nothing else than knowing yourself. Finding out who you are, what is your spiritual realm, what clan you belong to, and what is the lifestyle you should observe to stay in communion with your spirit, with your spiritual realm. So, for that, no matter the sacrifices that you carry out, no matter the spiritual work you take, if you do not observe the lifestyle appropriate to your sign, you will never get satisfaction. You will never be okay. You will always be complaining that after my initiation to Fa, I'm not seeing any change. That is your own problem, because it is just question of knowing yourself. And when we tell you that, okay, you are from water, let us say you are fire, and we ask you don't go to bathe. If you bring your fire to the water, it will quench. That's not the fault of the Fa priest. It is your own problem. So observing the lifestyle is the most important thing. So those are things you really have to know about the Fa initiation. If you initiate to Fa, observe the lifestyle, and know that your kernels are to be fed every year. Know that your Legba shrine needs oil and maize meal every week. Nothing. Everything will be okay. And continue living your life. You should have assistance from your ancestors. Then, there's one part, what are we talking about today? Today, we want to talk about the divinities that show up on your fa. Because every clan, every do, when I say do, I mean the sign that you have, the spiritual clan you belong to. So when you take the do, it embodies some spirit that we call deities or divinities. What do we do with them? Are we supposed to initiate to each of those divinities? Not at all. Not at all. What we do is when we take a sign, we have that, okay, we know that there are some divinities. We question, the Fa priest has to question each of those divinities. What do we do to this divinity for him to assist you in your life? What do we do to this? So it can be question of libation that we do, and that libation needs to be repeated every year. It might be offering a hen and a cock to that divinity, and it needs to be done every year. So it depends. Now, when it comes to some divinities, like Dan, for example, that's the most frequent one, it might require a specific work, like taking a shrine of Dan. And then the Fa priest cannot do that. Don't confuse things. The Fa priest, his work, his specialty is just to find out what spiritual clan you belong to, and then he will prescribe you a lifestyle regarding that sign. He will give you the Legba shrine. He will give you the kernel. Finished. When some divinities show up on your shrine, like Dan, like Gu, Sakpata, any divinity, he needs to direct you to the specialist of those divinities. And now, it does not mean that automatically we tell you, go to see those priests, the priest of this divinity or that. No. He first of all questions each of the divinity, what do you want? And most of the time, it's just some ebo, some sacrifices, some rituals that you do there. And the spirit will take it. It does not mean that after your fire initiation, since they talk about Shango, they talk about Gu, they talk about Sakwata, you have to initiate to each of those divinities. Not at all. We just question them and satisfy them so that they assist you. Every year when you feed your Fa, you question your Fa to see what you got to do for this year. That is what we do. It is not question of initiation and you will be spending money. No. You go to Fa because you have problems. It's not because you are wealthy, you have money, you want to spend. We go to Fa because we have problems and we want peace in our life. So, you got to be very careful while making some decision. Don't say, okay, I'm initiated to Fa, I have a Sapata on my shrine, I want to have initiation to Sapata. It doesn't work that way. Now, sometimes it might require that you need the shrine. And even if you need the shrine, the way it is done is different. The Fa priest will send you to the Dan priest or to the Sapata priest to have the work done. If it is a libation, you do it and you are satisfied. It is a shrine, he will do it for you. He will make it for you. And you have it and you feed it. If it is perfume, if it is powder, if it is oil, you give it to your shrine, you talk to your shrine. But this does not make you priest of any divinity. It does not make you adept of any divinity. No, it is just yourself. You are staying in communion with your ancestors. Just like a Christian might go to might take a cross, Jesus' cross, or might take Mary statue in his room, has his Bible, stuff like that. That's it. It's not something very special, very critical, very sacred. Not at all. That is not the practice, the reality. So I would like to take an example of a sign. Don't confuse, I'm not a far priest, but let us take the sign Chetula Klebo Gudameji. Gudameji is 1, 1, 1, and 2 down, 1, 1, 1, and 2 down. So on both sides, we call it Gudameji. When you are initiated to Fa and Gudameji come out, automatically we know that you belong to fire. You are fire principle. And the main deity in that spiritual clan, your ruling deity, is Gu. Gu is god of iron, is from fire principle, is the divinity that protects against accidents. Anything that is metal is in the hand of Gu. Gu is path openers, which means that when we have blockage, when we want to go somewhere and it is blocked, Gu is the one that opens the door. So we know that Gu is highly connected to that person, and that person needs to have Gu shrine in his house. Maybe he already belongs to a family where Gu shrine already exists there, and he just needs to go there and feed the Gu periodically. Otherwise, if he didn't have it, they don't have it in the house, he needs to have it. Sometimes they might already have it in the family, and we'll ask him if he has his own house to have the Gu shrine as well. So Gudameji is there. In the same sign, I mean, when we consider that same spiritual clan, we have Segbolisa, we have Dan, which is there, because when we're talking about Segbolisa, we are still talking about Dan, the principle of air. So in that clan, we have that divinity, and the person needs a work there. It might be a ritual. We might question the Dan itself, because that is no longer the specialty of the far priest, but you can go to the Dan priest, and we call the Dan the spirit, and communicate with the spirit and see what the spirit really needs, so that he can stay with you to assist you. So he might ask for a shrine. He might say, no, just do this ritual and throw in the river, or bring it to the crossroad, or do this every year. You can also take the shrine. But none of this work make you a priest or a priestess. That is very important. Otherwise, you will just put on yourself a lot of loads that will be heavy to you, while you will never have any change in your life. Don't waste your time. So, when we take Gudameji, we're still talking. We mention Gu on top. We mention Lisa. We have so many other divinities, because Gu embodies a lot. But since we know that the person is from fire principle, the far priest will tell him, since you are ruled by Gu, you cannot drink alcohol. It is not good for your energy. It's adding fuel to the fire. So we can say, okay, as you have Gu as your ruling deity, you should never wear red. We know that Gu itself is red, but he who is ruled by Gu never wear red, except when you are an adept. And when we mean adept in Benin Republic here, we mean somebody whose body is chosen who is chosen by the spirit, so that the spirit can materialize. Who is chosen as the vessel of the spirit. Those who perform during festival that you can see, So that is another thing. It does not have to do with knowing ourselves. That is another reality that we'll discuss later. So we know that you cannot wear red as you are ruled by Gu. So as a Gudamenji, you have to make white your favorite color. You are somebody, as you are Gudamenji, you should never make loan to people. When you make loan to people, the time you want to claim it, it will always bring you problem. They might even kill you. It can even cause your death, though you are helping those people. So there are so many. Like when an animal is killed and they cut off the head completely before they cook it, you cannot eat those things. So it is the lifestyle that is the real problem. And feed your fa periodically. Feed your legba. And the bokono needs to do properly the adra. When you take fa initiation, the work is really well done. After 3 months or 6 months, you should see some change, some improvement. If no change occurs, this means that something went wrong or something is still hidden that you have not yet found out. It might be the bokono's level. It might be other. I mean, because nobody knows fa in its entirety. No. No bokono can say that he knows everything about fa. Even if he's born in it and grew up and is very old, every true bokono will tell you nobody knows all. So after your initiation, 3-6 months, the same thing happening, please bring your fa to another bokono to see. After your initiation, don't stop there. Because your initiation, as I always said, does not make you dependent on your bokono. It is not the one who initiates you to fa who should always feed your fa. Not at all. You always bring your fa, or your sign to other people to learn more, because nobody knows everything and the styles are not the same, and you never know which style will feed your own self. It's not a school like we have a book you read, or you do this, 1 + 1 gives 2. No. The sacrifice we do for this person, the fa priest might know this style, the other know this style, another know this style. So when you try this and you don't see the change within a given period of time, try another style. That is how we work. Yeah. So, dear guys, thank you a lot. This is all for today. See you next time for another video. Bye-bye.